Israel Adesanya, guys, we have never had somebody like this. And we may never have him again. Israel Adesanya is such a meaningful character to the sport of MMA. He's a guy who is bigger than life. He's from a distant land. New Zealand, training by way of Australia or something along these lines, but he gets his druthers in North America while always representing Africa. It's a very interesting guy. He's bigger than life. He comes out, he looks cooler than we look. Got more jewelry on than we got. He can move in ways. He's got friends, he's got money, he's got success, he's got the words. But he stays a man of the people. How? It doesn't work that way. You can sell a lot of tickets and you can be a big star, but when you're bigger than life, you are not equal, right? When they're opening up doors of limousines so you can get out, there's crowds and there's flashing pictures, you are now not one of the people. Ever. Doesn't work that way. Don't even want to be, not part of your marketing. He is. How did he do that? And it really is something to watch Izzy make a couple $1 million in a sold-out pay-per-view, stopping or defeating Robert Whittaker the second time, lining up his next job before he leaves, and seconds later, he took his belt that was a lifetime of hard work off his waist and he put it on Booger Beard. Do you guys know Booger Beard? Happens to be a friend of mine. That's his social media name, though. Under Twitter, if you want to go find him. He's a regular guy. I believe he's a landscaper. He's a regular guy that is a very devout fan. He's a devout Izzy Adesanya fan. And he worked extra hours. And he busted his ass and he saved up some money and he went out to, I think it was Atlanta. Those guys fought. I was there, but now I can't. I think it was Atlanta. Ends up in the front row in tickets that you can't buy. So I think Adesanya even gave him the ticket. However they found each other, right? I mean, this is a guy from the state of Washington, which is one state to my north. Adesanya is famous in North America. He represents Africa. He trains in New Zealand, lives in Australia. You know, I mean, I might be getting this wrong, but you understand. I mean, this guy, he's representing the world. And he went and got a ticket for Booger Beard. And then didn't just do that to appease him or hope that he got some. He walks out and he puts the belt on. How's he's a man of the people. No. It's just never been done before. Then you have a guy like Adesanya that knows. He understands a grudge, guys. But there has to be an honor to a grudge. There really does. And it can be self-serving. If you've got a grudge for the audience to enjoy, you must follow the rules of said grudge, which is particularly, it doesn't end. Great grudges till death. They will never get it right. I watched one that really upset me. It was Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis. And the only reason it upset me is all of the things that went into it, including a commission hearing where Tyson was sworn in and under oath, and he took it all back. It was all a lie, right there in front of the world. Said, I love this man. That was just for promotion. He should have given us our money back. That is now fraud. This fight did not sell, nor did you even try to sell it based on left and right hands. It was completely about a grudge that you're now telling us didn't exist. I mean, I'll just share for you. I really thought that was an underhanded thing to do. It was meant out of sportsmanship, man. Mike was just trying to bury the hatchet. I do get that. Mike was just trying to be a sport and say, hey, man, we came in, we agreed on this. It was a fair adjudication, and you got me. You got me. All the stuff I said, man, this is my way of apologizing, but I also, I paid the price. That's what Mike was trying to do. I'm taking it in a little bit different interpretation, and I do know that, but I use it to prove a point, which is, why do guys do that? I don't like it. I don't understand it. And usually it's because they can't take the heat. You went out and did something to bring some level of interest to a fight, and you couldn't take the heat. You barely even got to the ring to do it the first time. You wanted to let the audience know that you got an elbow and a wink. You just couldn't take the booze. So the first chance that you have, under the guise of sportsmanship, you try to stop those boos by letting people in. How are you going to do it again? I mean, if that's the business you're in and that's how you make a living, how are you going to do it again? You get many smart people, not as smart as me, but you get very, very many smart people that come out and they'll tell you the key to business. Well, the key to business. And they'll tell you something, and they really do believe it. And I might not go that far, but I will tell you one of the keys to business is to find something you can do where your profits exceed your expenditures that you can duplicate and do it again. And then you can duplicate and do it again. Right? The Oreo cookie recipe was invented in 1929. They've never changed the recipe. 1939. Excuse me. 1939. They have never changed the recipe, but they found something that they could duplicate, and then they just did it again. It's a great example. And I bring that to you because if you've got a grudge, and this is what you've sold, you look around and it worked pretty good. How are you going to do it again if you tell the market, your audience, that it was a lie? So that's where the self-serving side comes from. Israel Adesanya knows how to have a grudge, which represents an honesty, which represents a sincerity to the consumer, and it's why he can be riding around in first class and still be a man of the people. And it is a fascinating and simple concept. And you could never call him a bully. You could call him a jerk. You could call him a jerk if you wanted to. He insulted a child. Worldwide television. And then was given an opportunity by John Morgan in the back to apologize, of which he did not. He referred to himself as petty, but he said that the kid hurt his feelings 6 years before, and he's waited 6 years to give that kid a receipt. And that was interesting. Now you think, well, that's a jerk, that's a bully, he wouldn't pick on a kid. That's what you might think, right? But he'll do the same stuff to that kid's dad, who happens to be amongst the baddest men in the world. So, you're not a bully if you treat everybody the same. You might be a jerk, or as he put it himself, petty. But you still remain a man of the people. Do you know what this whole thing is predicated on? This whole thing is predicated on the idea that Adesanya, who struck out, and then finally hit gold, has rubbed it in, not backed down, done everything to lead us to believe he will go in there a fifth time against Pereira. They have not buried a hatchet. It is not done if you don't want it to be done. It can be done. I've heard that you've moved on. It can be done, but it didn't have to be done. Don't think I'm the one that's saying it's done. I'm not blinking. It's the way that you do a grudge. It's the way that you build trust with the audience. It's the way when Adesanya, who does whatever he's going to do next, and for the first time in his career, we don't know. There has never been a night where Israel Adesanya has left work and not set up a job for himself in the future, and he tried. He tried to do it that night. He went after Duplessis. Something happened. Something happened. And I'm just sharing for you, whatever that is down the road, there's going to be a grudge, and we need to know that he's sincere. Look, over the weekend, Izzy's at the airport. While he's in line, he's in the security line. He holds up his camera. He's making a video. Pereira's behind him. And Pereira sees the camera. He knows exactly what's happening. He knows this is going to end up on social media. And Pereira, kind of plays to the crowd and holds a fist up. It was just one of these great moments. It was one of these simple moments. But there's been 6, 7, 8, 9 of these things since they got out of the ring. And the general belief when they got out is Adesanya got away with one. It was the general belief. He's won 1, he lost 3, but this one appears to have made the other 3 go away, which sometimes in sport can go that way. In addition to that, this one that Adesanya won, he was losing the entire fight. And that wasn't true in the previous 3. He was winning the previous 3. Goes out there, he's getting whipped for the first time, ends up stopping. I mean, it's just one of these things where you go, okay, hey, Izzy got away with one. He'll stay away from Pereira. He'll never go back to that. And he did anything but. He promptly teased his son. He promptly went in the back and said that he teased the son. As recently as yesterday, he's making videos on social. He's buried nothing. That's a very different reaction than Mike Tyson wanting it smooth right now. Right now. I didn't mean any of it. Let me take it all back. That's very different. It's going to be hard for Mike to get above the ground and sell out another arena, which, by the way, I don't believe he ever did. It's very different. You got one guy trying to stuff his coffers by fooling the audience. It's okay. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. But you have another guy who is part of it, who has built a trust, who has an honesty, who has kept a consistency. In his own words, was even a little bit petty, but all the while he had a sincerity. Next time he has something to sell, next time he has something to say, next time he has a message to get across, the people will believe him.